What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, I know a lot of you guys are getting a little tired of playing Battlefield, especially being let down so many years in a row. We got Battlefield 5, which was honestly a disaster when it comes to the community. It got better, but I would still consider it a disaster. We got Battlefield 2042. A lot of Battlefield fans are struggling to find something that they truly enjoy. There's been other alternatives out there like BattleBit, for example, and other games that try to copy the Battlefield formula. They just don't live up to the expectations that I completely want. Don't get me wrong, BattleBit is a fantastic game. I love it to death. You guys got to think, it's only about 2 to 3 people working on that game, so it takes some time, But that game is great and all, but it doesn't live up to the expectations that I personally want when it comes to a first-person shooter game. I can get on BattleBit, but I can only play about a few games until I get completely bored. But this game right here, World War III, has to probably be one of the best indie developed games, FPS games to be specific, that I have ever played. Again, you can go ahead and compare, other games like Insurgency Sandstorm, which I would probably say I enjoy Insurgency Sandstorm more. I enjoy Escape from Tarkov a lot, Splitgate as well. But all of those indie developed games got massive budgets, huge amount of income to support the teams to the point where it almost seems like they are AAA development teams. So those games, I don't want to truly consider 110% indie right now in their current spot. But World War III is one of those games that just started from the bottom and is slowly grinding their way to the top, and I respect every last second of their development time towards this game. This game came out years and years and years ago, which they actually stopped production, and pretty much the whole community, everybody who invested money into this product, thought they just pretty much ripped us off. They gave us an incomplete game, ditched it, took the money, and ran with it. But surprising enough, for pretty much over a year plus, they took that money and they reinvested it back into the game. They went completely silent mode, not a word from the developers, but every last second of their time was invested into improving the overall quality of World War III. Once again, one of the most respectable development teams I have ever seen in my whole life. Let's be honest here. There's a very rare amount of development teams who would even consider doing that. I mean, Battlefield 2042 already makes me seem like they're doing the dash. They took our cash and they're doing the dash. They are adding in more content, obviously. But with the progress and what they're showing us, it just doesn't seem very impressive. But every single time a new update comes out for World War III, every single time they release more information, every single time they have, new content that they're talking about, that they're working on, everything fascinates me. I never think, wow, this is absolutely nothing. Wow, what a waste of time. Not one singular moment in my whole life of this game being alive have I ever considered the developers being completely lazy, besides the moment when they went silent on us and didn't say anything. But other than that, they put in work. And finally, after all this time of this game being dumbed down, because to be honest with you guys, when I first initially bought into this experience, there were tons of maps and tons of things to do. A lot of the stuff, when they closed up the game and put it into a beta instead, was removed, stripped from the experience. So it's very bare bone. The amount of time that I could put into this game, like I used to, is nowhere close. I'll tell you that much, because it just gets boring. It gets repetitive, playing the same 2 maps, using the same weapon because the level up and the progression is horribly slow. It gets a little tedious. But finally, after all of this patience, after all of the support from the community, everybody who went out and purchased their way into the closed beta, because for those who don't know, you can actually, I think it's like $10 to $20 to get access to the closed beta of this game. I don't know if you get any props or anything afterwards. I just feel lucky because, I was one of the people, like I said, that had spent like, $30, $40? I think it was $40 for this game when it first initially launched. So, I already spent $40 on this thing, so you guys are lucky to only have to spend $20 to get into the beta and then get full access to the game afterwards. But, like I said, after all of this time, they are finally putting it in open beta. Now, it's not a select date, but the developers are hinting that it's extremely close. I would personally guess it will probably release in the next couple of weeks, up to 1 month. Now, I'm going to go ahead and ask an extremely big favor from you guys. Honestly, it shouldn't be a big favor. It should be really easy for each and every one of you guys to do, but I'm going to consider it a big favor because people are pretty darn stubborn. I would love to death if you guys would go and play the open beta. No, you don't have to pay anything. It's not the closed beta. You're not paying a fee to get in. It's an open beta. Everybody is welcome. It's PC exclusive right now. But the reason that I want us all to go and support this game, test it out, give feedback, and try to fix it, is because the console port of this game will not release until the PC version is up to date and working perfectly. flawlessly, basically. This game has to be basically like Battlefield 4 at this point, after all the updates. Working perfect, barely any bugs, They want it polished off, they want content, they want it to be completely filled up and good to go before they start working on the console version. And the only possible way to give Battlefield any type of competition with this game is for it to be on all platforms. Let's be real here. Any game that just sticks on PC is not going to be a massive, FPS title. It's just not going to happen. The only game that I could really think of that, took off like that was PUBG and maybe H1Z1. But that's only because they started off the Battle Royale trend. So a lot of people ditched their consoles just to try it out because, Battle Royale was literally the thing back in the day. Everybody wanted to try it out. And, you even have Optic Scump out here buying PCs and, advertising PUBG. It was massive. But that's the only reason. That's the only way a game like that can actually thrive, is if it's starting a new trend. World War III, it's not setting a new trend at all. It's just a good Battlefield replacement, in my personal opinion. It's everything I want out of a Battlefield game, and better, and more. But especially during these extremely rough times that we're living through, nobody has that much disposable income to just be dropping on a PC out of the blue. Even if I'm absolutely stinking rich, even if I'm pulling in, $100,000 a year, to think about, tossing $3,000, $4,000 at a PC during this time where gas is just absurd, food and other necessities are skyrocketing in price and also becoming more scarce to actually obtain yourself. All of these crappy things are happening right now in this world. Nobody's going to go ahead and dump cash out on a PC, especially if they have responsibilities. If they have a roof they need to keep over their head, if they need to feed a family, kids, their wife or husband, whoever you are, whatever you need to do, there's more priorities that are set higher than getting a PC for one single game. So the only way that World War III can compete is if it comes over to console. But we, the community, everybody who already has a PC, everybody who, has Steam installed, please play the open beta. I can already tell you right now, you will not regret it. I mean, World War III, like I already said, is everything that 2042 should have been. You get to pick the country you want to work for. You get character customization. There's tons of weapons right at launch, with tons of attachments for each one, tons of grindability. There's a lot of maps in the game, even though they stripped them for the beta. But in the original build of the game, there was tons of stuff to play around with. And the only reason they stripped all the maps going into the beta is because they're revamping them. They're basically doing what Battlefield 2042 is doing. They're taking the current maps, and they're going to go ahead and rework them. But instead, unlike Battlefield 2042 where they just left them in, which I honestly prefer, they took them out of the game in World War III. I think it would have been better if they just left them and just reworked them for the final build and put them back in. But, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, this game has way more content than Battlefield 2042 could ever imagine. This game has more content than Battlefield 2042 will have a year down the road. That's kind of depressing, right? But hey, nothing wrong with that. A game that's only $20 to get into the, the closed beta, a game that's about to be an open beta, and also a game that's going to be free to play when it finally officially releases. Who in their right mind wouldn't want to go ahead and play something that's free, that is modern day, the scenery that we want, with realistic looking soldiers, has customization. It's not like the store's empty. It's not like you can't, deck out your character, but it's not like you're putting on unicorns on your, and not, I'm not going to go too crazy because Battlefield 2042, I already made a video about this. Their cosmetics, the change in what they're trying to do in that category is phenomenal. I'm just going to say it looks great. But this game did it right out the gate. We didn't have to beg them to do it. We didn't have to fight for them to do it. We have no, horrible conscience when it comes to working with this development team like we do when it comes to working with DICE. This game, I can promise you, will give you enjoyment. And if it doesn't, just uninstall because you're not going to even lose a singular dime. But this is the point where we as a community have to come together to get what we want. Now, I am saying that this game is phenomenal, and if you're looking for a new experience, then by all means, give it a shot. You won't regret it. But when it comes to being a Battlefield fan and someone who enjoys these styles of games, but we want a more arcadey version, we don't want a milsim, we want something that gives this experience, but we can still casually hop on and get a good time. We have to come together and make Battlefield a good game again. We have gotten into a cycle where we allow the developers to release completely broken messes with absolutely zero consequences. It happens every single year. It's to a point where we just shrug it off. And the community, it's hilarious because the community actually gets mad at you when you complain about this. They get mad and say, why are you getting salty about this? This is how it is every year. Just go with the flow of it. No, don't go with the flow of it. Why should I? If someone's going to serve you a piece of shit on a plate and then put some sprinkles on that bad boy, what, you going to say, oh, I'm just used to it? Hell no, you are not. You would literally just not go to that restaurant ever again and go to one that is more reliable and actually consistent with the quality of food they put out. Why does nobody treat game situations the same way they would treat in real life situations? These aren't two different worlds. It's still a product. It's entertainment that you're paying for, and it's not entertaining at day one. We have to get a point across here, people, and the only way to do so is to play a good game. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new and enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, this ways to do so over Twitter and Discord, below the link down in the description. And also, want to catch me live streams of video games, do over on Twitch. Link that in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.